Fever Nation. What's up, YouTube? I was watching the game yesterday, and I think one of the announcer, I don't butcher me if I get this name wrong, but it was Nancy Lieberman, and I think the other lady's name was Fran Harris. Don't butcher me if I get that wrong. But at any rate, they were in awe of the defense that the Fever was playing in the first half of this game. And they even mentioned it late in the fourth quarter after they had given up the lead, and they talked about how the Fever was not as intense defensively as they were when they started the game. And I was thinking, what is going on with the Fever? I mean, they look like a phenomenal team one moment, and then they look okay. Thank God for Special K, that's what I'm going to call her, Kelsey Mitchell, for stepping it up. When Wings went up, 79-80 late in the game, she came down and knocked down a three, and I think they went on a run to put the game away. So props to Kelsey Mitchell being special when it mattered most. Shout out to AB. Shout out to Lexi. Shout out to Sophie Cunningham. Shout out to Ari McDonald. Those who contributed in ways that are going to be significant as the season progresses. Coach White. What do y'all think about Coach White now? Ultimately, as I've stated in other videos, it's all about the players executing the game plan. Everyone likes to wail in on Coach White, like after the Sparks loss. You know, it was a late game collapse. They said they were up by 10. Let me tell you something about myself. I'm always encouraged when a team can open or create a double-digit lead. That shows me they have the ability to play well against certain teams, or against, in the case of the LA Sparks, by the record, it's not a very good team, but you really can't look at teams' records when you're judging this season. They were playing the Wings 4-12, and now obviously the Wing has some really good scorers, especially Enrique Agumbawale. I was shocked that they were able to shut her down like they did. That was a shock to me. So hats off, props, and hats off to Stephanie White and the defensive game plan they had in place last night, because they really were able to contain one of the best pure shooters in the WNBA. The whole point of this video was to just talk about whether the team is bipolar. And now I don't want to get into the clinical definition, but I think we all have a fundamental understanding of where I'm going with this in terms of a team in a professional sports. The way they came out to open the game, I mean, they look great. I looked at this team and I said, man, if they could play like this for, let's say, 3 quarters, but the way they came out at the half versus the way they came out at the half in Seattle, that's the way you start a half. The way if y'all can go back to that Seattle game, they came out and scored the first 6 points of the third quarter in the opening minutes. Seattle had to call a timeout. Now you say, well, why are you going back to Seattle? Because I always try to find the silver linings. Now, obviously, you can't do that with everything, but I always try to find the silver linings in the season, in the moments in the season that I look at and say, you know what? It's not as bad as y'all think. I did a video about that. It's not as bad as it looks. Everyone keeps wanting to blame coaching Stephanie White as if she's going to get out there and put in some minutes to help this team win a game. Stephanie White is going to be on that bench from beginning to end. She's not going to play. She's not going to put on a Fever uniform. It's up to the players in uniform to impact the game with their ability, with the skill sets that they bring to the table. Look at Ari McDonald and what she was able to bring to the table. She didn't have to score a lot of points, but the points she scored were important. They were important at moments in this game that the Fever needed, because late in that game, the lead was not going back and forth, but it was shrinking, then expanding, shrinking, then expanding, kind of like the universe. But those points that she scored, and others as well. Shout out to Michaela Timpson. Thank you for the way you brought it to the table. I thought you played well defensively. I was really impressed with your defensive effort. And it seems like you gave some of those ladies in the paint trouble with your athleticism. Now, the refs weren't giving you a lot of love when you were defending above the arc to the boundaries. They were saying you were pushing the players. Now, I noticed they don't call that call consistently when it's Clark out there handling the ball that far away from the basket, but that's neither here nor there at this point. And I was impressed with Michaela Timpson's playing time. Get with your girl, Ari. It's like she's a wealth of a veteran knowledge, and I'm sure she can help you develop and be more significant to the team than you are right now. And believe me, you are significant. I hope you've been learning while you've been sitting over there, Michaela. But I thought you looked good last night. Keep grinding, not only as a person, but as a professional athlete in this league. Shout out to the Fever for playing as well as they did on a back-to-back night. Yes, people. The Fever were on a back-to-back night, and they came out with the fire. The only difference was they weren't able to maintain it throughout 4 quarters. That's why I say if we can get it going for 3, maybe we can watch the lead evaporate late in the game and where it doesn't mean much or anything. I hope you all enjoyed the game as well as I did. I saw a lot of bright spots, but that's who I am, okay? That's what I look at. You all have a blessed day. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. I'm out.